welcome to another episode of Too Many Notes music review. Today we have, if you can believe this, we have Wyrmwoods. I'm going to say it like that, okay? With their new album, Gamma.
Now, this is an atmospheric avant-garde black metal band from Oulu, Finland.
Let's have a look. Oh, look, they got one of those unreadable logos. That's award winning.
That's standard issue.
That's award winning. I'd say
it's award winning. Oulu, Finland. If you didn't know, that's in the north of Finland. It's the most northern city in Finland. Let's take a look at. This is a one-man band. One man.
And there you go. Just
Nurag Varn. Let's take a look at Nurag.
Oh, we have a picture of him. There we go. Let's click on that and.
No, on the front page.
Oh, that's him over there, huh? Oh, okay, but he's not. I can't see his face though.
He's got something for you.
What's he got? Oh, he's got a drink for me.
He wants you to try the wine.
Absinthe. I think it's absinthe. It's absinthe.
From the Wyrmwoods?
Yeah. Is it absinthe? Comment down below. How do we say his name?
Nurag Varn. Don't know if I'm saying that right.
Because in Finnish,
Nurag.
We're not quite finished learning Finnish.
Nurag.
You know, no one's finished learning Finnish ever. That's dumb. Nurag Varn. I don't know.
He's credited with everything.
Everything.
All right, and we are here to celebrate, recommend, review his third album, Gamma. It was released on October 23rd on Inverse Records. Let's look at the Bandcamp.
All right, over to the Bandcamp.
Fun little note on the Bandcamp I found. There's a little bit of French to intro us onto the album. I guess we'll have a little français here.
They're multilingual, these people.
Dans un monde d'insectes, on voit tous les désastres. On rend dans eux suffit pour voir passer les heures.
What does that mean?
In the death of an insect, we see all the disasters. A circle of blue is enough to see the passing of the stars.
There's something in the cover. We'll discuss that later.
I don't know what that means.
There's something. It has something to do with the cover. We'll discuss that later, though, when we get to the cover.
Does it?
Well, there's bugs on the cover.
All right. There's also a note that says the last track was inspired by David Whittaker, who I looked up as a British video game composer in the 80s on the Atari.
Oh.
And
how obscure. Was he a popular?
I guess if you were into that, you probably know who he is.
I guess. Yeah, but Atari music was just like beep boop bop beep beep boop bop boop beep. How can that be?
Okay, you obviously don't know about David Whittaker.
I obviously don't.
All right, let us begin to speak about the album.
Okay, so now for our Here Lies Metal 5-point bi-directional classification scale, including these 5 categories. Genre loyalty, which means true to nonconformist. Listenability, which goes from sonic terror to distorted pop, right and left. Production quality, Fisher-Price to high production. Musical complexity, enough notes to too many notes. And just plain fun, fun or focused. And please note, this is not a rating scale. Each end does not classify positive or negative, but instead it's only to inform the listener as to where they fall under our categories. So,
all right. True to nonconformist, our genre scale, with our genre being, what was it? Atmospheric, avant-garde, black metal.
That's the most.
That's already like a 5 or a 4 or.
Yeah, anytime you're.
We're gonna call the base genre black metal or even atmospheric black metal. This is easily a 4.5 at least on this scale. It's got, you could say, some black metal riffs. They're demented. They're a fun demented take on your black metal riff. It's got your blast beats, but it also has a lot of other weird drumming on it as well. And it's got synths, but not your typical atmospheric synths. It has synths riffs, refrains, melodic synths.
It's very
lead synths.
Yeah, it's very synth-centric.
Very synth-centric.
This record.
And everything on this album is menacing in that black metal way, but it's also kind of playful at sections and almost relaxing at parts. I guess you could call that the atmospheric sections. Check out the opening riff on Astralnum. And yes, this is not a normal album. It's a spooky album. The vocals alternate between a low guttural and a high shriek, but they're kind of in the background. They're not super highlighted or anything. But we venture into some other genres as well. We've got some ambient stuff, maybe on like Carmoon. We've got noise elements throughout. I would check out Ozalbo if you want to hear that. We've got jazzy elements throughout. I would check out the song Subterrane. Nice disturbing synth refrain on that. That song is pretty epic, actually. It goes a lot of places. Like
Refrains
jazzy.
just aren't used enough anymore in metal.
And it has like an atmospheric, drown out atmospheric section, and then it like brings that synth refrain back. But refrain. It's like super. This is the closest you get to bringing the riff back on this album. A feel good time.
It's a refrain though.
It's a refrain. Well, it's like a.
It's a refrain. Like a riff. Maybe that's where it came from.
It's kind of like a piano, like refrain on the piano.
You know where the last time I heard refrain was? When I was at church, and it, you'd read the music and it said refrain.
Right. We have to look up our music vocab here, but it brings back that little jazzy but slightly off-putting refrain, and it's even creepier, and it sounds like a dying music box. But yes, this album is stylistically intense, to put it mildly. Just to highlight the song Corrector. It has like he definitely has his own very kind of signature style and throughout. So it kind of starts out with his signature style. It goes to almost a grind section, to a noise section. It's got some black metal like tremolos on top of the noise.
It does it all. And
the synths come in for like a spooky section with like a funky bass that comes in. Back to like his infectious demented riffing. Back to like death grind, and this song is 1 minute 43 seconds long, so you are going around through many different styles. However, the transitions are not jarring. Like, I don't know how he does it, but it never feels like you're getting jerked around, though you are literally getting jerked around. It does not feel violent. It feels smooth. So good job.
What do you mean funky bass? Was he like slapping the bass? I didn't
no
catch that
funky
part.
Does not imply slap.
It's like 1991 Flea. All right. So anyway, yeah, Wyrmwood has to only be true to one person, and that's Mr. Wyrmwood himself. And that's all that matters. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's true or nonconformist. This type of music doesn't stay true to any specific genre. Vocals and guitar riffs and key structure are black metal for the most part. But they won't let you enjoy a riff for too long. So you're like, oh, I like that riff. He's not going to he's just going to move on. I got more shit to talk about. He's not going to give you more than a measure of that thing. And he's just going to keep moving. So, but that's him. It's not for you. He wrote it. Okay. It's not for your enjoyment. Comment down below, Mr. Wyrmwood.
All right. On our sonic terror scale, how terrifying is this? It's fairly terrifying. We're giving it a 2 for sonic terror. Fairly terrifying. What is ameliorating it is that it is kind of catchy and listenable, but even at its catchiest moments, it's like spooky, it's off-putting, it's dissonant, it's like atonally catchy.
Foreboding?
It's creepy. It's creepily catchy.
Ominous.
It's very ominous. And of course, it does have intense black metal sections that almost get to grind at points, that are very unrelenting. Like, we've got some very extreme blast beats on here, and some more laid back ambient sounding jazzy sections.
They get jazzy, these people.
So yes, it's alternating. We have frightening black metal sections that are frightening because it's intense black metal, and we have just creepy more atmospheric sections. So it's like it's hitting you on both in multiple angles.
all at once. It's like being quartered, maybe being pulled apart by all angles. Just opposite. Anyway, the Sonic Terror is based on the rating of Sonic Terror it received. It's based on like the sheer to me. is based on the sheer complexity of the song, which is always gives me sonic terror. Is when a song, like especially a metal song, is like brrr, and I'm like ah, and that's and perhaps he gets a little growly in death metal on his vocals, right? So that always gives you a kind of an automatic sonic terror, right? That's not pleasing to the ear for the most part, I would say. The instrumentation, however, is not the guitars and bass and stuff. I mean, it's not like brutal sounding. It's not like trying to be like. It's not the guitars and bass aren't like super heavy, and I don't think that's like not I don't think it's a mistake. I think that's that's how he intended it, and it's rather pleasantly to give it points in the other direction towards the right. It's rather pleasantly orchestrated, utilizing synths, which might sound scary, but they're not harsh to the ear. A very efficient and effective manner of synth, not in like an overuse of synth. Even though synths are dominant, it's not. They don't feel forced. They feel very necessary to what he's doing here.
All right. On a production scale, I think this contributes a lot to the listenability. I gave this a 2.5 on the Fisher-Price side, but it sounds good. So it's like DIY good, It's not totally clean, but it's warm. Particularly the drums are very warm. The bass, when you can hear it, the bass gets a little lost in the mix sometimes, but on the more sparser sections, you hear this very nice warm bass tone. And he really likes these warm tones on the synths as well. It's like I want to call it like a wood chime.
Yeah, is that what that is? I don't know what a wood chime sounds like, but I'll take
I should have looked that up. What does a wood chime sound like?
I don't know. What is it? Comment down below. Play one.
It's like a woody sound on the synth that he uses a lot. He uses a number of different sounds, synth sounds. It's like a pleasing
Gentle
smorgasbord of sounds on this album, and they're all pretty warm. Even the black metal parts are pretty warm, and I think that goes a long way to make this be as listenable and as pleasant as it can be.
It's warmly ominous.
The
synths.
It's like a dense, warm feel to this album.
It's like foresty almost.
Wyrmwoods, woodsy.
We figured that out. My turn. So this is very spot on for a one-man effort, and that's like a whole different like scale. When one man is doing it, you really got to give him, you got to give him some like handicaps, I guess, because think of how hard that must be. So we got to give him credit. The guitars.
You can't tell it's a one-man band.
No, I couldn't. I wouldn't think it was if I heard this or no one told me.
I would not assume.
There's some people you could, and this is not one of them. The guitars aren't trying to be, like I said before, guitars aren't trying to be super crushing or brutal. The bass isn't dominant. It's not really the focus of this, which is fine. The guitars appear to be tuned down to me. Comment down below if that's true. But they're very progressive, very clangy, and only slightly distorted, which gives them more of like a higher cut through rate. Like they're really clang, 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 they're very kind of abrasive, and I think that's what he's going for. Because they kind of attack your ears a little more like that, whereas the distortion kind of maybe softens them up a little bit, gives them a little more harmonic qualities. But the meat of this production is in the drums. The drums are very dominant in the mix, and so I'm assuming Mr. Wyrmwood is a drummer. He's a real live drummer. I don't think these drums are fake or anything on your program. I think he really laid down those drums. If that's true, tell us how you did the drums if you're listening, Mr. Wyrmwood.
Yes, that leads right into our note scale. How many notes? There's a lot of notes. We got a 4 for too many notes. And mainly it's the drums. I agree. I got the conclusion from this that this guy is definitely a drummer. Yeah. The drumming is intense on this album, and it's perfect. Yeah. And it's interesting. So
do you want to be our drummer? My drummer? Maybe.
He doesn't need you.
I know. No one needs me.
He doesn't need anybody. He's doing all of this all by himself. And that's not to say any, the rest, like the synths are also, I would say, almost as highlighted as the drums on this. I mean, he's not playing anything completely like ridiculously intricate with the synths, but it's not like easy synths either. It's not like just total atmospheric chords.
Yeah, it's not Rick Wakeman, but it's like, it's filling in, he's not like a pro synth player. I don't think he is, but he knows his chords. He knows where they belong, which is half the battle,
Guitar solos are mainly just like creepy noodling, I would say.
Well, he's doing those black metal cuts, he's doing the black
But
metal.
he has like some solos too.
Yeah,
Not just the tremolos. But yeah. And also just the song composition just lends itself to too many notes. There's really no clear format. It's linear songwriting, very musically complex.
Well, if your line is linear, if your line is drawn like this, but that's still a line though. That the line doesn't have to be straight, right? It could be like this, right? So anyway, a lot of notes, all kinds. Every note counts. In fact, the men to notes ratio is way off and kind of in the favor of the notes. There's a lot more notes than they are men. They are Mr. Wyrmwood. Okay, because there's only one of you, and how many notes are they? Thousands, millions? I don't know. So they're going to beat you in a fight. Anyway, if your notes ever went against you. So don't piss them off. So yes, the songs lack the standard song format familiar to the West or perhaps the Earth. Maybe
the Earth.
Not just the West, but the Earth. That's impressive. The Earth, right? So you're an alien, perhaps.
Maybe more this dimension.
Maybe you're an insectoid.
This dimension.
Dimension? Something, but you're onto something, Mr. Wyrmwood. Doesn't mean there isn't a form. It's just cannot be or having trouble deciphering it as unenlightened listeners, and perhaps there is enlightened. Maybe the insect people could understand this. Tell us your story.
We are not enlightened. We're cretins.
No, I am a mouth-breathing guy.
You're wearing a Man-O-War shirt.
I'm a mouth-breathing Man-O-War listening oaf.
All right. Fun. Is this album fun? I actually do think it's fun. I'm gonna give it a 2 for fun. It's got a lot of weirdo keys and chords, and it just oozes this creepy, otherworldly horror atmosphere.
That's usually not fun,
but it's like it's kind of like playful as well. Like those synth melodies, they're creepy, they're dissonant, but they're playful. They're jaunty. It's like jaunty.
What does that mean?
They're like jauntily wrong. And also kind of like oddly peaceful at times.
Yes, they give you peace to your end. You're at peace with your end.
Yes. And I like that the last song, Nyx, kind of takes you down easy. Like the synths sound like they're breathing. They're like just breathing. And you get this like little psychedelic guitar noodling on top of it. It's like the album knows what it did to you. It's like, I'm sorry.
Quite a masterpiece, Mr. Wyrmwood.
Do you think this was fun?
I can't decide. Perhaps all the well coordinated and involved long and tedious nights of frustration at the studio involved the making of this. Maybe it was like, that's because that's not fun, right? Like if you're in the studio, just like doing it over, trying to, and he's alone too. So, so that's, if that was the situation, then that's not fun. Or versus, maybe he just.
But is the music fun?
Well, it depends on how he thought of it. To me,
I think we're speaking experientially.
Okay,
here.
So if I'm listening to it, no, I'm concentrating. So no, it's not fun. But I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get in his head. I'm not. No, and that's not a bad thing. But so I'm gonna have to disagree on that. But but maybe when he made this, he just got it all down in one take, and got high, and he just smoked a joint. And made some dinner, and
we're not arguing how easy it was to make.
Well, that's concerning to me. That is a major factor.
I'm sure this was very difficult to make.
What if it wasn't? What if he's like, yeah, I just did that in a night.
He's a genius.
He's like, I went to McDonald's.
He's like Mozart was all composed in his head. And he didn't have to do any retakes.
Salieri couldn't figure
all by himself.
Salieri just couldn't understand. He's like, I just don't fucking get this. And he was so mad. Then he got mad and he made Mozart kill himself.
All right, let's look at that album art.
Okay, so if there's any like Italian guys dressed that work for the king, just avoid them, Mr. Wyrmwood, because they're gonna try to make you drink yourself to death by driving you crazy. Okay, that's what jealousy does. So
this is an original painting by Lyre. Oh, that was the credit.
Oh, so was this made for the album, or is this taken?
That is what it said. It said original painting.
So this was an original.
I don't know if that means. I don't know what that means.
Maybe it was just me.
I love this painting.
So what do you think is going on in this painting?
This painting is completely representative of what the album sounds like, because you have this very nice but kind of weird purple landscape.
Okay, so
like it's nice, but it looks a little bit unnatural and strange.
The background looks like a Yes album.
I think Yes is comparable to this.
Just the background, but look closely.
This whole experience.
Okay, but look closely what's going on in the foreground. Like examine what's going on there.
And so then you have this like nice kind of otherworldly background, and then you have we've got this jarring insectoid monster. It seems to have a baby,
a proboscis, going into the baby's head.
Into the head, and also out of its arms. So it's like the baby. It looks like it's evolved to take I don't even know if you can call it a parasite, because that baby's obviously dead. Maybe it's dead.
It's not an earthly baby.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
So it's got some kind of symbiotic relationship with this baby going on. Is the baby in control?
It's, you don't know. Maybe it's using the baby's brain force to activate its own. Maybe the baby is the predator, and the baby's connecting its proboscis to the bug, and it's going down to the bug's stomach because the baby's like tied to it. Maybe the baby's in control. But
like
if you look,
like the babies are like, we're weak. And so what we have to do is connect ourselves to these
we can fight, and then we
insect
can
predators.
Yeah, and we can hunt with their body.
There's another little insect guy in the back.
He's
he's a little different.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything. Maybe that's the female of the species. I think that's maybe the female of the species. But look here to the left. It looks like baby tree. Either they store the babies on this tree, the babies grow from trees, and they pick the babies. There's a lot going on here.
Oh yeah, you can see in the tree in the back too.
Look down here, there's cocoons, and there's another.
Those ones are like ready.
There's another bug down here, and he's like, "This is my tree."
So they're growing babies.
But that's his. He's like, "Get the fuck away from my tree! Don't you even think about coming down by my tree."
So this album sounds like this painting. We've got a nice like the background is like the nice synth interlude parts, and then we've got the crazy black metal sections, which are the bugs with the babies.
But look back here. There's like a giant bug. Is that
a bug?
Is that a giant bug? It's coming to get them. I don't know. Mr. Wyrmwood, tell us. I don't know if this painting was commissioned for your album or it was always a painting.
Maybe it was the inspiration for the album.
Maybe it was the inspiration. But tell us about this painting, because this is one of the most interesting pieces of, we always talk about the artwork every time we do a review. So, but yours is probably in the top 5.
Oh, easily.
Of maybe top 3 of most interesting, that really just activate my imagination to find out what's going on here. So comment down below. Most importantly, comment down below about this painting, what you think about it. Mr. Wyrmwood. What's his real name? I keep calling him Mr. Wyrmwood.
It's Nurag Varn. I'm sure that's not his real name either.
Mr. Wyrmwood.
You can call him Mr. Wyrmwood.
Mr. Wyrmwood. That's easier.
It's Wyrmwoods, actually.
Us mouth-breathing Man of War fans. Mr. Wyrmwoods. This is a kind of a masterpiece. You should be very proud of yourself. So for making this. So I hope you watch this. I hope you contact us about this album. And thank you for making it. So for all you fans out there, check out his Bandcamp and his Metal Archives for more information and merch. Okay. Thank you very much.
Wyrmwoods, Gamma. Check it out.